Hi guys, it's Colette. We coffee and chat. I wasn't expecting to do this one, but I had a lot in my mind and I thought I might share it with you, as I do sometimes. This is the second last day of Navratri, Durga Puja, the honouring and celebration of Goddess Durga in her forms. And I've done my best with it again this year, and I've had some revelations and some understandings, and I think mainly I've just been saying thank you. But get yourself a wee coffee if you want, or a tea or some water or juice, because I don't know how long I'll be talking for and there might be interruptions. However, every Navratri I look to last year's notebook before I start, to remind me of kind of what happened last year. Excuse me, a bit of a blocked here. And I looked at last year's, and it was the main thing was from Kali, the day that was the power to confront the things you need to deal with and be aware of, and almost fight. And that was the main message coming out of that Navratri, although there were many more. But right at the start of the notes, it was very hopeful, and a few days under my belt and doing very good devotions over the day and evening. And after day 3 or 4, it just sort of went down to what I could do. And at the end of it, the notes were saying that I needed to confront that I couldn't really do Navratri the way maybe I wanted to every year. So I thought on that for a while, put it by, and on the lead up to this Navratri, this festival, before I read my notes, I had okay, the lights, the altar, got help with setting things up, picked out my clothes for each day, that and had a think on the setup and the colours and everything like that. And I was so excited to be doing these devotions. And then a few days before that, Jim's back started to get sore, and I thought, oh dear, as long as it doesn't go into his bursitis in the hip, because when his back's gone and his hip's gone, it's very sore for him and very, very difficult for him to move. We are a team, we're both disabled, but that puts a lot of the things that need done, just the basics, onto me. And I do it, and I do it gladly, because he would do the same for me, there's no doubt about it. But I thought, as long as he's got one hip, we'll be okay. And started Navratri, first few days, very good, enjoying it. Curtailed it to less hours than I would have put in, but did more things in a celebratory way, like looking after Jim in ways that were a prayer, that were a gift, to be able to look after him in the little way that I can. And then his other hip went. The bursitis came in 2 hips, and by that time I started to feel a wee bit low, and how am I going to manage looking after him? Annie came into season, and we decided earlier this year, because remember, I don't know if you remember, but she was very, very ill and nearly died 3 weeks after we got her, and it was a horrific experience. So because she's in a house with no other male dogs, Benji was snipped, and he's not here now. I decided, Jim with me, that I didn't feel like putting her through the op for to get her spayed just yet, if ever, because she's so small, and we're not going to breed off her but she's more or less a house dog and in the garden. So I thought, well, we'll let her go into season and see how, how much work that takes, and see what we feel about it. So lo and behold, she went into season as well, which is not that much bother. She's just a tiny dog. She's just been sleeping and hungry all the time. If she's not wanting cuddles, she's asleep or she's wanting food. So I think she'll have put on £1 by the end of this, and for a sort of £6 dog, that's quite a lot. But anyway, that's something we can think about. So by 3-4 days in, my girls were fantastic. They were helping out and doing what they could do, bringing food and keeping spirits up. And my grandson was here, and it was wonderful. But I still had this niggling feeling that I wasn't doing enough. I was letting Goddess down, and all this the gifts that we've been given this year, with the way we've gone forward, good things about health, for both Jim and I, and my daughter Jill moving on and having a new house, a new home, and I'm very proud of her in that, and my other daughter doing well, and my grandson just being the sun, moon and stars, to be honest. So anyway, I wanted to go into Navratri with such an amount of love and such an amount of giving and giving back, and right from about day 2 or 3, it wasn't happening the way I wanted it to, and that's the only way I can say it. Goddess has never demanded anything from me. If anything, she's just continually given. So there was no demands there. The demands that were on me, I was putting on myself. And Jim was like, no, you can't keep up with this. You're doing too much. I'm worried about you. So then my knee went. I've had 17 dislocations on my right knee, but not for nearly 12 years. They started, first one was when I was 8 or 9, doing handstands. I completely ripped it apart. And then up right till 12 years ago, every few years it dislocated. So although I haven't dislocated it for a while, and I thought it was really getting very, very strong, but all of a sudden in this Navratri, the knee starts to go. Now, the knee is the place of the ego. And I always used to joke that probably my knee dislocated at times where I was needing a wee reminder of my ego, and we've all got ego. And to do what I do, even, well, particularly back then with TV shows and radio shows, and then books and workshops and big events and whatever, you need a bit of ego, otherwise you would never ever make it to what you're doing. But anyway, this knee hadn't gone out, and it hasn't gone out, but it started to get very sore and feel very weak. And I thought, oh, this isn't what I need. And then I thought, right, let's go back to the teachings, and the knee being the place of the ego. Is my ego telling me that I'm stronger, better, or can do this better and wonderfully? And really I can't. And I thought, right, I need to think on this. So I spent a few days thinking on that within the different goddess avatars that we thank and are there for different days. And it began to sink in that I kind of didn't take the lesson last year, and it's there in my notebook. Completely shut the notebook for a year, put it away and didn't think on it again. Went through last year trying to do a lot for a lot of people, which is, I've always said I've had quite a bit of fame in my life, and career as clairvoyant and writer, and I'm very, very grateful for that. I don't kind of need it now. I don't need that ego. But there, the ego was still fulminating as such. So I put up a video about, I put up the response video for psychic development, and unfortunately someone put up a very good thought in my hurry to get it out, but me not being wanting to be in the video, because that day I looked horrendous. I literally looked as though I had no energy left, and I put the pictures of the location up, and one woman said, I was going back to do that, but now I've seen what it is, and that's disappointing. And I agree with you. I'm disappointed in myself because I hurried it just to get it up, because it's nearly 2 weeks, and I kind of thought anybody that was going to do it might have done it by then, but it wasn't the right thing to do, and it won't happen again. But again, I've not even got the energy at the moment to go in and change the stuff to do with it. So I'm sorry if that picture of where the location was going up was annoying to some people. I really didn't mean it that way. So I've learned, and I won't do that again. So anyway, got back to a lot of lovely prayer times and meditation times. Still not the length that I would normally do. Was very good at, there'd been prepared meals and stuff like that, and things that the girls had left, so there wasn't even big things like that to do. And as I was coming up to Callie's Day, the lesson last year was you need to use the ability or the courage to confront. And I have been using that in a lot of things, but it came out again the same day of Navratri, the same time just about. And I thought, when will I ever learn? Because I thought maybe, years and years ago with Navratri, you see, I'd bring all my women family together, and we'd have such a big celebration, and we'd do it really, really properly. We'd have the feast, we'd have everything done the way that it should have been. And but with COVID and stuff, those practices have fallen away. People have their own lives, they can't maybe come the way that they used to. I can't go far. So I think I've still had that in the background of my head while I was doing the last few years. And I'm older now, disabled, and I thought of the grandmothers that maybe were doing this all over the world, and I thought, well, they probably would be sitting enjoying the food being brought to them rather than making it. They would be enjoying their time of gentle celebration. And that's when it hit me that I, in my head, feel that I'm younger and less disabled than I am. And it's quite hard to say that, but I've had to confront that. And I know I'm not old, but I'm 62. Things can be more difficult as you are in your 60s. It just so happens that I've got the most beautiful, lovely, gorgeous husband, but he can be ill. Well, he's ill, but he can have flare-ups. And also I have my own old bones and things. But in my head, a lot of the time, it just is like, I'll try and do things that I can, and then I have to say, well, I can't, that's the last time I'll have done that, that's the last time I'll have done that. Understanding limitations with and disabilities is really, really important, because if you don't, you're actually going to hurt yourself. and that's just the bottom line. And also, being disabled and older, you have to have boundaries, what you can do, and what you say, no, I can't do that, or I need that time to myself. And I've been very bad at that. But this Navratri seems to have sort of pushed it home a bit. And I know that there's people watching this will be like, I'm not going to swear, but goodness sake, finally, daughters, sisters, family, I know that they'll be like, can this be true? Excuse me. And yes, ladies, it is. And Jim, if you watch this, it is. I'm learning. So, Navratri itself this year, when I've been able to meditate and pray and spiritual reading, I love spiritual reading, it's been good. It's been informative. And I have felt that with the aspect of who I am now compared to who I was maybe back in media days, I really only want to be known as kind. You know, I don't have maybe that ego anymore. I just want to be known as kind. And always with Ganesh, throughout the year, any coins or things I've put in a container for Ganesh's offerings. And every year at Navratri, I find an Indian charity that I can give to or support. And this year, I found that just as we were going into Navratri, and I'm waiting on them arriving today or tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day. I feel that they'll probably arrive tomorrow. And I'm so pleased because in India, there's a caste system. It's not so bad now, but the untouchable caste is called the Dalits. And I have to say that when I said that to one of my friends, she didn't kind of know the term and said Daleks, and I was like, no, Dalits. And this caste doesn't particularly have a good life. They're the ones that do the jobs that nobody else would particularly want to do. And normally there's a lot of poverty and a lot of sickness. And I found a candle making place that not only do the Dalits make the candles, but they also make the holders out of clay pots with candles in them. And it just felt right. And I ordered them right away. There was someone luckily in the UK that actually sells them on or sells them for them, and I've got quite a few of them coming, and I'm so pleased. I mean, it's nice to have something to show for the money, but I would have done it for that charity without them, but I'm just so looking forward to having these as maybe little gifts and stuff. So this year's charity is actually helping people in poverty of the caste system, and that feels good. So that's lovely, and I'm happy with that. So today I will be focusing on Durga as she vanquishes the demon, and seeing if there's maybe any demons of my own, mental demons, emotional demons that I need to deal with. And I think we all have them, but I think, and I hope I can say this, I have tried and worked with these things for years and years. So I hope there's just maybe a few tiny little ones. And I'd maybe like you to think yourselves, have you anything that maybe you should confront or needs to be gone at this time of year? Anything that you feel even at this time of year starts to bubble up on you? You know, we're getting towards more festive seasons. Are you maybe worried that you can't spend as much money and that's in your head? That doesn't matter. Give a kiss, give a cuddle. People don't need stuff, okay? They really do not need any more stuff. Or, you know, I've been comfort eating a lot this week and leading up to it, and it's just because of the sense of stress that I need to confront that a wee bit. Jim and I definitely, we eat well. We're plant-based whole foods. Love it, love it, love the textures, love the fact that we're thriving on it. It's just our bones that are letting us down. But you know, you can kind of be you can kind of eat really well, but then add stuff on top. Like, I must admit, if any of you are out there that are on a plant-based plan just for life, I am kind of addicted to peanut butter. Now, the protein in it I must need, there's no doubt about that, but I think I could actually put on weight as a vegan. And, you know, I've lost quite a bit of weight, so I don't want that to happen. So, if anybody out there has a peanut butter kind of obsession, if you could let me know how you weaned yourself off it, because at the moment it's that and vegan ice cream are my two favourite things in the universe. I thought I'd miss chicken. I thought I'd miss, you know, like dairy ice cream. I thought I'd miss like all sorts of things, and I don't. I really don't miss them at all. But I have moved to peanut butter and vegan ice cream. Love it, absolutely love it. So anyway, I'm away off on a tangent, you know what I'm like. Yeah. So I've got a wee bit more to do today. Tomorrow the altar kind of is cleaned and comes down and goes back to normal altar for this time of year. I'm hoping that my candles arrive today or tomorrow. And it's been an eye-opener, my darlings, it really has. I think maybe a lot of us that are empaths are the same as well. We want to keep going and doing the best that we can. And there's a lot of people that aren't empaths out there that want to keep going and do as best they can, and they're kind or whatever. You know, let's not get snooty about it. But I think the empathic side of my nature can, when it's taken to X amount, be a flaw rather than a gift. And I will think on that. So yeah, I hope yous are all well. You know, I can't even remember if I've left anything out. I didn't even have a plan for this. I was setting up to literally do some prayers and a little meditation. I had all this stuff in my head, and I thought, well, the best, I'll go to my notebook and write it all down. And I thought, no, just share it on a video. So, can I summarise? Those of you out there that are like me, that are maybe disabled or getting older or both, need to realise maybe that your limitations need to be addressed more, and that you need to find a way of putting boundaries up and advocating for yourself. Also, remember when you're doing that though, you still need time for your spiritual life. In fact, it's sort of probably number one. And you might not be able to do the amount that you used to do. You might not be able to go the places to visit, spiritual sites or whatever. But you know, whatever path you follow, if there's a holy place, if there's a place that is symbolic, then just bring it inside you. Just bring it in here, because that's where it's meant to be anyway. That's where it's meant to be. And sometimes if you don't have that spark of spirituality and knowing in here, going to the holiest place in the world, wherever that may be, it's not really going to help. So, yeah, if you've any questions that you'd like to ask, put them down below. I'll be giving more time to health in the week ahead again, and then we'll get back. Hopefully get more writing done, and I like the way that the new book's developing. It's not developing fast enough for me, but there I go again. Do I learn? I'm a stubborn Taurian. I will work with the book when and if I can, but I'm pleased with the way it's shaping up. I love you all. This channel would be nothing without you, and I do enjoy our little coffees and chats. And remember, they're chats, so chat to me, get back to me. Anything else? I don't know. Maybe I've said enough for this week. Let me know how you're getting on. Let me know how the change in the weather and the seasons. Oh, that was another thing in the middle of Navratri. We had floods. I forgot about that completely. We went so bad. I mean, the lanes were flooded and the main road was flooded, but in Scotland it was horrific. They were like, oh, the damage has been awful. I know it's the same in England and Ireland as well, and a lot of Europe, but oh my goodness. In Scotland we have a lot of rain, there's no doubt about it, but that was something else. That was earth changes that I did expect to see. You know, I've talked about 2013 to 2074 and the earth changes and the flooding, but Scotland's relatively high up. I thought we would be okay. But this week with the storm Babette, I think it was horrendous. So that was all there as well. So yeah, I don't know what it was in. I think there was something else happened as well, but you know that way it's like, it's just been like, oh, so on. So I'll finish off Navratri tomorrow. I will write it up and I'll go back to it, and I think I have to be more accepting of health, age, family, illnesses or family stuff, weather, whatever, and just be content to do the best I can on any one day. And I hope you'll join me in that. Don't overshoot. Don't have your ideals so high that you're going to get disappointed, because sometimes when that happens, you know, we can just give up. And on day 3 of Navratri, day 4, I was like, oh, I maybe should just give up for the year. And something was like, no, if you do 2-3 minutes a day, if you do prayers and maybe a wee meditation, that's still holding the festival. Don't give up. So if you're dealing with anything out there, don't give up, but know your limitations. And please talk to me in the comments, because I could do with your love and support for Jim has been amazing, and I thank you all for it. But I like your conversation, just for me too. So I love you all. Thank you for listening to me for however long this has taken. And I know a lot of you love the coffee and chats, and I think I love them too. But it's nice to hear back from you in the comments. It really is. So many blessings. Thank you for listening. And if you've still got flooding or whatever, be safe. And I love you all, and I'll see you soon. Many blessings now.